Vegas. Fox 5 News at 10 starts now.
A child abuse case turns into a murder charge nearly a decade later. Why police say the actions of a woman back in 2009 ended in the death of a child last year. We'll walk you through what happened.
You look at what have happened in the CCSD race relationship, the worst that has ever been in CCSD history.
CCSD staff and local parents met to talk about school safety. What sent parents walking out of the meeting?
This is Fox 5 News at 10, local, Las Vegas.
To understand our top story, we need to take you back 10 years ago. May 2009, a 2-month-old baby named Blair was rushed to University Medical Center.
Doctors diagnosed shaken baby syndrome. This woman, also named Blair Hobson, was babysitting. She was convicted of abuse and got out of prison in 2014.
It was very unexpected. It's disbelief. It's indescribable. It happens in the blink of an eye.
That's Tiara Meadows, the baby's mom. We talked to her back in 2009. 4 days after her baby boy was rushed to the hospital, she told us she forgave the woman who sent him there.
I still don't believe she's a bad person. I really don't. And yes, I have forgave her for it. She loved my kids, and that's all that you can go by.
Blair Hobson told police she was stressed. She admitted she shook the baby and bounced him so hard his head hit the floor.
It's a violent shaking of a child, and in infants, their heads are a lot bigger than what their body can support, what their neck muscles can support. And what we see a lot of times is there's that retinal hemorrhaging, bleeding of the eyes. It can move to the core areas of the brain.
My main focus is my baby getting better.
Her baby was severely disabled and never learned to speak, walk, or crawl. Fast forward 9 years. August 2018. Blair suddenly died. The medical examiner said his death was directly linked to what Hobson did to him. Now Blair Hobson is charged with murder. She's charged with killing the boy with her actions 9 years and 3 months before he died. Hobson's attorneys call it double jeopardy, being prosecuted twice for the same crime. They want the case dismissed. Hobson will be in court tomorrow, so will Fox 5, and we'll tell you what happens.
Today, the CCSD held a public forum to figure out future protocol for school threats. Parents, teachers, and community leaders voiced what they wanted to see done following a rise in racial threats at schools. But then this happened.
And the other one is the safety of colored students in general. These are two different conversations. I'm so sorry for saying that.
Ma'am, please don't make me have someone escort you out.
You don't have to, because I'm leaving, because stuff like that is what's going to get our children hurt in the school district.
Many parents of students who were assaulted or threatened spoke tonight and demanded answers. They called for more accountability in the school district. Teachers said they need more diversity training to keep conversations about race open.
What I want is for this diversity training that you guys already have in place to trickle down to the teachers so we know what we should talk about, so we can have those open conversations and kids feel like race is something you can talk about.
Speakers also complained that incidents were not being properly reported by school officials, but parents made it clear what they want to see in the future is more accountability and more communication from the school district. A valley-wide teacher strike may be coming. The Clark County Education Association took a survey, and out of 5,000 educators, 94% say they support walking out of the classroom if legislators don't take action.
Everything's on the table right now, and it's going to be up to members of CCA to vote to decide what the next course of action is if nothing's done.
It is illegal in Nevada for unions to strike, but the CCEA says it's preparing anyway. Kenny Belknap, who you just heard from, is a high school teacher at Del Sol. He says it's not just about pay raises, it's about increasing funding for education to reduce class sizes and make learning better for the students.
And a kid doesn't get a second chance at kindergarten. A kid doesn't get a second chance to go through the high school system. So every year that they don't fund them, they fail them.
He says nothing is final, and the union is still optimistic there will be change for teachers made in the legislature. If you'd like to know more, CCEA will hold a Fund Our Schools Now rally on April 27th at the Social Justice Caucus on Las Vegas Boulevard.
The city of Henderson fired its police chief today. Letitia Watson was put on paid administrative leave almost a month ago. Several complaints were filed against her about promotions and policy changes. A spokesperson for the city of Henderson did not say why she was fired. Watson became Henderson police chief in November 2017.
A 20-year-old rumor of buried treasure in Pahrump has piqued the interest of some criminals. The Nye County Sheriff's Office is now looking for 3 people who they say trespassed and searched for Binion's gold. Ted Binion died in 1998. Police say he was a victim of a homicide. Along with the theories of who killed the man who ran Binion's Horseshoe Casino were rumors about a yet-to-be-found buried fortune. After all, Binion's underground vaults housed millions in silver and rare coins.
In 1998, the Nye County Sheriff's Office located $5 million worth of silver at a property owned by Binion located between Matthew Crawford and Highway 160 in Pahrump.
Since then, Nye County Sheriff's Department says there are those who are determined to find the rest.
There is a long-standing rumor within Nye County that Binion had buried a large amount of precious metals, including silver bars, on this property and others that he owned.
At the start of the month, deputies checked out Binion's former property on Wilson Road in Pahrump. They found a digital camera that captured video of 3 men carrying shovels walking around the property.
While investigating the crime scene, deputies and detectives located several holes dug in the main structure on the property.
The property manager identified one of them as this man, Richard Cleaves.
The property manager also told deputies that Cleaves used to work on the property.
Deputies said Cleaves tried this before back in January of 2017, and this is what he told deputies when he was arrested.
He told deputies that he'd read online that there was millions of dollars worth of gold buried on the property and he wanted to find it.
Police have not located the 3 and no word if they ever found anything, but we'll be sure to keep you posted.
Down, but not out. Not the start the Golden Knights wanted. They lost 5-2 in San Jose, so now they're trailing the Sharks 1-0 in the series.
But that's why it's a series, and the Knights are turning the page. They are looking ahead to Game 2.
Our Fox 5 sports team, Kevin Bollinger, Vince Sapienza, they are live in San Jose to tell us what the team had to say after last night's loss.
Well, Christine and John, we are in downtown San Jose tonight, all lit up and ready for the NHL playoffs. When a team goes to the NHL playoffs and they play the first 2 on the road, they want to make sure they get at least a split. Game 1 disappointing, yes, but the split still achievable for the Golden Knights.
Not a one and done, it's a series, and there's an old saying that's saying you don't win or lose, you win or learn. And unfortunately for the Golden Knights, they fall into the latter of that category. But before they can turn the page on to Game 2, they have to look back at what went wrong in Game 1.
Playoff is all about details, little plays, stick plays, battle. The playoff is all about, winning pucks by the boards, and they did that a little bit more than we did.
Didn't fully show up or commit, so there's an easy solution to it. It's just to start playing our games.
But finding their game has been a challenge of late. The Knights have won just once in the last 3 weeks. Vegas managed just 10 shots through the first 40 minutes, taking 34 penalty minutes in the process.
One of our best factors is being able to get on the forecheck fast with our speed. So I think speed is a big part of this series and something that we'll need to get better at next game if we're going to start taking over the series.
They're very deep, they're fast, they're big, right? They're dangerous, but I don't see why we can't compete with them though. I think we have the team to do it, and we should.
Cross to Couture, shot, and a glove save, Fleury.
Confidence from the cage will be key, but it goes beyond a belief. For Gallant and the Golden Knights, it's about execution heading into Game 2.
We got outworked and outcompeted, and those puck battles that were 50-50, we seemed like they came up with the puck a lot more than we did. So I think it just comes down to our compete level and getting to our game.
The biggest issue for me was they worked a lot harder than we did. That was the biggest issue for me, and that can be corrected real quick. I mean, they looked more competitive. They were a hungrier hockey team last night, and that really bothered me, and it bothered the hockey team. So we got to get ready to play a big game tomorrow.
Now, it obviously bothered the Golden Knights so much this morning that they had a scheduled practice. That turned into an option-only skate, but it was one of the most heavily attended optional skates we've seen all season.
And one stat maybe the Golden Knights fans can hang their hat on if Vegas is going to come back and win this series. The Sharks have not won a game all season long where they've scored 2 goals or less. That's an amazing stat considering this team had over 100 points this season, but every single win they scored 3 or more goals. So you hold the Sharks to 2 or less goals, you got a great shot at winning these games.
Game 2 tomorrow night, 7:30 at the Shark Tank. But before we get there, coming up at 11, I go one-on-one with Alex Tuck, who talks about the accountability of a loss like right here in the Stanley Cup playoffs and how they move forward as a team.
And our coverage continues early tomorrow morning as we give you all day, all night, wall-to-wall coverage of the Golden Knights in the playoffs. But that is it for now from downtown San Jose. He's Vince, I'm Kevin. Let's kick it back to you in the studio.
Hopefully everyone will have a smile on their face tomorrow night at this time.
Absolutely, and that is why we love you morning, afternoon, evening. You guys are there making sure we don't miss a thing.
Thanks, guys.
Ermias told me what heaven was like. He told me it was paradise.
Thousands of people came out to honor rapper Nipsey Hussle in Los Angeles today. We will take you to the emotional service.
All the wind we've been seeing in the valley, it can kick up all this. A lot of dust. Valley fever is a concern for some. Even pets can get it. We'll tell you about the signs to watch for.
And some showers trying to move through the Las Vegas Valley. Now you see that circle that appears on this radar loop right here. We'll explain what that is. Also coming up, with the chance maybe a couple of drops through the valley over the next few hours into the early hours of tomorrow. Certainly there. We'll explain why coming up.